What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today we're going to get back to my favorite car that left me and my mother and my son stranded on the side of the highway. And once I got it back here and dropped it off, I haven't touched it since. It's been sitting here waiting for me to get back to it, and I decided today's the day. That's right, my super cheap $9,450 2001 gray market import G500, the G Wagon. I am kind of excited to get back to it now that I'm over being pissed off at it. But before I can get back to that one, I've got to focus on this one. I ordered a bunch of parts for this the other day, as you guys know. We parts cannoned the ignition system, basically tune-up stuff, plugs, wires, cap, rotor, fuel filter, and a lot of you recommended I get the factory intake, and I agreed with you 100%. I saw your comments where you guys were like, come on, man, get rid of that. I know it's BBK. I know that, you know, that's a quality part right there, but let's just be real. When you look under the hood of this very original Mustang and you see this just chrome, it just doesn't work, guys. It doesn't fit. So I'm going to be taking this off. This actually sells on eBay. These things sell used for like $250. So basically what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to list this on eBay. I'm going to sell this, and I bought the original factory air intake, all of it, and it cost me about $215. So I'll be able to recoup almost all of my money for the parts for the tune-up and the air intake by just selling this one component, and I think it's going to clean up the engine bay a whole lot better. Also bought a fuel filter, also bought the EVR solenoid for that EGR valve. Going to go ahead and replace that just out of an abundance of caution. But before I can get my G Wagon in here, before we can even find out if it runs, I put the battery on charge because the battery was dead. Battery's been disconnected for probably close to a week now. Before we can do anything with that, I got to get this thing running and get it out. So I've got to put the distributor cap, the rotor back, the spark plugs back, and I didn't intend on doing any of this. I wasn't going to come out here and mess with it, but I have to because I'm going in for a procedure tomorrow, and if everything goes well, I'll be back. You won't miss a single video. But lately I've been filming videos like as they happen. Like if I film it, the video goes up the next day. No more of this 2 weeks out stuff. You guys hated that. I kind of hated it too. Also got some hardware for the headlights for this too, but I do have a procedure tomorrow. It's not going to be fun. I'm hopeful that everything goes well, and I'll be right back at it, and we'll get right back to business. You guys won't even know I was gone. Let's button this up. I just got a few little odds and ends I need to throw together in here, and then we will move this out, and then we'll get outside where it's below freezing, and we'll see if we can't get the G Wagon running, and with any luck, we can get it into the shop where we can start diagnosing it and hopefully figure out what's actually wrong with it. All right, just for kicks, I cleaned up the coil, and I cleaned up the distributor cap, and I added the ground wire that was missing, and I left the horn disconnected. Funny thing, with the horn disconnected, my cigarette lighter works like it's supposed to now, so that's nice. Let's fire it up. This does not work, but the cigarette lighter does work. I had a lot of you notice the other day that when I turned my headlights on, the car stumbled. And a lot of you said I had a ground issue and I needed to hook up that ground wire. So I hooked it up just to see what happens. Doesn't seem like it stumbles. It also doesn't seem like... Nope, there it is. Yep, still... Yeah, she's still got problems. Whatever, this video is not about this car. This is just part of the video about trying to get this out of here so I can get the G Wagon in. I was hopeful though. A lot of you said all I had to do was hook up that ground cable and she's gonna come right back to life. And I was like, all right, well, hey, I'll give it a try, man. What's it gonna hurt? Oh yeah, she's already. We'll take it up and down the street real quick, just to see. But it ain't gonna change anything, guys. I think we all knew that. No, nope. It's no better even after cleaning the distributor cap and the coil, putting it all back together. Still not fixed. That's all right. I didn't expect that it would be, so I'm not upset. It was worth a try. I got plenty of parts coming in. We'll see how it does. Oh, wow. Yeah. We'll see how it does when we do a full tune-up, fuel filter, all that good stuff. Maybe all that stuff will fix it. If not, it's not going to hurt it any, that's for sure, because it all needs to be done anyway. So let's pull this thing into the yard here. And let's see if we can't snatch ourselves up. There's the G Wagon. Let's see if we can't get this G Wagon running. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Oh, hi, kitty kitty. What are you doing? What are you doing? Just hanging out? Don't let Roxy see you, because she's a cat hater, man. She does not like kitty cats. Let's get that window up. I can't leave this outside because that window doesn't work on the back quarter there, and it's supposed to snow. So let's move on to the G Wagon, shall we? Give me a minute, guys. You're not going to be able to see anything. Let me see if I can get some lights for us. Well, we have lights. The battery's been on charge for like a week. Let's see if it'll start right up. Right up. Perfect. Perfect. My question is, do we have throttle? Because the throttle completely died. We do. The throttle's working again. Or wait. Or is it? Hold on. I'm hoping I'm not driving over that ditch. Let's take this thing around the corner real quick. This is going to be very interesting. If leaving it not running for a week with the battery on charge, yeah, the throttle's working perfectly now. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Are you kidding me? It's driving. Oh, get out of town. Get out of here. Well, now I want to drive it. I don't trust it. I want to drive it home, but I don't trust it. See, this is leading me to believe, this is really leading me to believe that the throttle body we replaced was not defective. There was nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong somewhere else. And I was hoping that it was still going to be messed up today. I wanted to get it into the shop, and I wanted to hook up my Carly device just to see if Carly could figure out what is going on with this truck. Great. Okay. I mean, listen, I shouldn't be complaining. It's running and driving again, right? It was not doing that before. I ended up having to wait for a tow truck to come pick it up, and we had so many lights on the dash. This is leading me to believe it's a voltage problem. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we might have ourselves some kind of a voltage issue, because that's how it was acting. It was acting like it wasn't getting enough power to keep everything going, because now we have no warning lights. Before, I had washer fluid, I had low oil, low coolant, we had a check engine light, the throttle wasn't responding. I mean, this thing was acting like it was completely dead. I had to have it towed, and then I had to come down here and grab my trailer and haul it all the way down here. I spent hours just hauling this thing around, and here we are with a freshly charged battery. Suddenly it's driving like an excellent G Wagon. This is driving like something I would drive on the daily. And I left it parked down here for the last week because it's literally been 1 week. It was 1 week today. In fact, at what time is it? It's 6:20. At about 7:30 that is when this thing left me on the side of the road 1 week ago today. So this is kind of wild, man. This is kind of wild. So I think we're aiming in the right direction here with with voltage. Let's get it back to the shop. I think what we should do now is, number one, check and make sure the alternator is pumping out at least 14 volts. And then I think there is they hid a battery in this car. It's called an auxiliary battery. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe the auxiliary battery could be bad, and maybe that could be causing all of these phantom issues that we've been having, these kind of unreplicatable issues. Because all I can tell you guys is right now, she's driving like a brand new car, and I'm ready to drive it home. Like, I love this G Wagon. I really do. I enjoy driving this thing so much. But it's a Mercedes, and it's older, and it's got miles, and it scares me. But again, I only paid $9,450 for it. You cannot buy a G Wagon. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you say in the comment section below. You cannot buy a G Wagon for under $10,000. It's not going to happen, okay? So give it up. You're not talking to a noob here, all right? I've been around the block a time or two myself. You're not getting a G Wagon for under 10 grand. We're going to roll the windows down, or at least this window, so we don't have to worry. We're going to leave the lights on because I'm going to test the voltage. We're going to close this because I've got the heater on. We need to replace some burned out lights while we're at it. Ooh, boy, it is so cold out here today. Let's get that shut. Let's get a voltmeter. Let's see what kind of juice this thing is pumping out. She's running perfect. She's running perfect. I think we should still put the Carly device on it anyway. We'll probably need to drive it 10 miles. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, that scares me. That driving this thing 10 miles, it scares me. We didn't have a good experience with this the last time. Let's grab my trusty Noco GB150 here. Let's hook this up to the battery, and let's see what kind of it's locked? Let's see what kind of voltage this thing is pumping out. I expect with the lights on, this thing should definitely be pushing. That's weird. That one door is locked? Okay, I don't pretend to understand these things. We know the battery's good. I've already tested it. All right, the battery is in excellent condition. So it's like a new battery. So no issues there. Let's put positive to positive and negative way over here to negative. And there we go. Oh, shit, that scared the Jesus out of me. Oh, my goodness. Oh, God, will you stop it? All right, 14.3. Let's give her a little rev, and that's with all the lights on, guys. I'm gonna put you guys back here where you can kind of see what's going on. Let's give her a little rev, see if it gets any better. I mean, I'm happy with that. I'm checking. What I'm mainly looking for right now is voltage spikes or voltage drops, like voltage dips. Solid. That is one hell of a voltage regulator, Mercedes. I'm telling you what. Let's turn the lights off. Probably go up just a little bit. No, 14.3 still. Interesting. The voltage has not gone up or dropped at all. No spikes, no dips. Very, very interesting. And now it's off. Where are we sitting at? We're sitting at 12.9. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. 12.8. It is dipping a little bit. Here's my question, though. And this is a legitimate question. I'm going to get a light. If there's anybody out there that knows Mercedes better than I do, which that doesn't take much, okay? I'm not a Mercedes guru. I don't think I'd even want to be, if I'm being completely honest. Is it possible that the secondary battery, I don't even know for sure that this has one, but I think, and this is so stupid, underneath this battery, I believe, is another battery, a tiny, like, motorcycle battery. Is it possible? What is this? That's one of my sockets, man. Is it possible that the auxiliary battery could be completely bad, and because of that, it's causing all kinds of electrical gremlins. I don't know. Before we do anything else, let me grab a wrench. Let's take off the negative terminal. Move that. I want to see what everything's working with under here. Let's take off the positive, and let's pull this massive, gigantic battery out of here. Let's see if this even has an auxiliary battery, and if it does, we need to test it. So the question is, does this have the auxiliary battery that I've been so concerned about? And the answer is, after taking this ginormous H8 battery out, the answer is no. I don't know what year they started using an auxiliary battery, but in some of the newer than this models, right underneath here, it drops down even further, and there's what looks like a lawn tractor battery that sits underneath, and it runs the auxiliary stuff. I don't know what that is. Perhaps maybe radio stuff or Windows. I don't know, but it has a separate battery that handles all of that. And my thought was, I was just certain, man. I was certain. Is there any chance it's... Nah, this is all... That's solid. It wouldn't be under there, I don't think. Because this is all... Or is this... No, that's glued on. Okay. So I guess this does not have the auxiliary battery. This has heated back seats? What? In 2001? Oh, dude. Ashtrays so you can smoke. And I love this thing even more. I've never really been in the back. I didn't realize it had so much stuff. Okay. So I guess this leaves me with another question. Oh my goodness. These doors, these things weigh a metric ton. Like, I'm not even joking with you. These doors are just out of this world. Everything about this thing is heavy, big and heavy. Here's another question for you guys, and this is something I'm a little concerned about too, because this has a aftermarket audio system, and it's not bad. It's not great. We have an amp that someone, nicely built into the wall here. It's an Extreme amp. I have no idea who that is. And then we have these, Zeus Hyphonics. I don't know if that's a name brand or not. I don't believe it is, but there you go. You've got 3 what looks like little 8s, maybe 10s. I think those are 8s. 3 subs, little amp. There's a lot of wires that go to this, and even more that run to that amplifier behind that wall there. And then I noticed there's a lot of wiring that somebody's done. You can see down here we have the fuse for that amp. And then Monkey Wrench Mike noticed when he was poking around, there's a lot of wires that I do not believe are stock on this truck, hidden under this. It looks like a footrest. Now, when the seat moves back, you can probably see it a little better, but underneath, you see all those wires right there? Those are all speaker wires, guys. Those are all speaker wires. So we have a factory head unit, but we have a lot of aftermarket speaker wires that are going underneath the floor, and I believe running back to the amp and to these subs. And it's got me kind of wondering, what if this install was not a very good install? You know what I mean? What if somebody just threw it in here? Anything that messes with the electronics. Look, we got wires, speaker wires, running from one side of this to the next. That's not good. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If somebody that did not wire things up properly, we could have an electrical draw. We could have something just wreaking havoc on the electronics in this if it's not all working properly. So I'm not entirely sure what to look for next. As nervous as it makes me, I think I need to put the battery back. Where's this ground wire? Because that ground wire is not factory either. That is an interesting ground wire for sure. Oh my goodness. Okay. Next up, let's put the battery back. Let's hook the battery back up. And as nervous as this makes me, I think I want to hook up Carly. I don't know what Carly's capable of doing with this vehicle, but I think we're going to hook it up anyway. I'm going to see if there's any way we can calibrate the throttle body. We were never able to actually do any kind of a calibration on it with the tool that I had. My scan tool does not want to connect to this truck because this is, I know that it's going to sound funny, but it's a European truck. Okay, this is not an American-built truck, so my scan tool is having a very hard time connecting with this because this was never intended for the United States. It was never intended for the North American market. And my scanner's having all kinds of problems. So my hope is that Carly can connect to it. Maybe we can reprogram the throttle body, and maybe somehow, some way, that'll help us with the problem that we're having. All right, just for safety, I checked the oil. I checked the coolant, I checked the washer fluid, I checked the power steering fluid, I checked the brake fluid, I checked the clutch fluid. Yes, it has clutch fluid for the hydraulic suspension. Everything on this truck is full, okay? So, any more warnings about fluids being low? Not a chance, man. Not a chance. I already knew it was BS. All right, I knew that from the beginning because I had just checked it. Now, when it first happened and I got the low oil light, that scared me. It wasn't a low oil pressure. It was a warning on the dash that actually said low oil level. I thought, oh no, I've been driving, like I drove this thing 200 miles right after I got it. You know, I mean, I just went out and started hammering on it, man. Highway driving, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, not gonna lie, I thought for sure. I thought for sure I had made a big mistake and lost some oil and didn't realize it. Where? Oh. So that could be why the corner light doesn't work, because it's not actually plugged into anything. Interesting. I'll tell you what, guys, the more you dig into this, the more you start figuring things out, man. So these side marker lights are not very common. They take a very unique light bulb. I don't think I've ever even seen them before, but I found them, of course, on Amazon. These are little LEDs. Let's see if it even says what they are. It just says 12 volts, blah, blah, blah. Auto BA9S, pack of 10. Okay, BA9S is what these oddball little light bulbs are. And, well, I bought them because none of my side marker lights work. Well, I pulled this one out too, and can you guess what I found? Same thing. It's got a side marker light, but there's nothing. The wires go to nothing, and there are no wires to connect to it. Now, I didn't bother taking these back ones out because guess what you're going to find? I promise you, as soon as you pull these out, you're going to find the same thing. There's no wires. So I went on to bring a trailer, and I looked at some of these. And by the way, I found a black one, I think, of these. It was a G55, though, an AMG. $69,000 for a 2001 gray market. I want you to think about that for a minute. $69,000 for a gray market G55 AMG. I don't see the value there. I see the value all day long at $9,450. I could, in my sleep, I would buy this every day. Not a problem. 70 grand, I don't think so. So I started looking at some pictures of other gray market G Wagons. What I found is the ones that were imported, the ones for the European market, they don't have these. There are no side marker lights on these, front or back. Nope, not at all. That's why they're not wired in. So I guess to get it to pass the import inspection, I guess they didn't actually check to make sure they worked. they just had to be there. So it's got the lights. They just don't actually function. I'm about to connect my Carly device just for the fun of it. I'm going to plug it in, and we're going to see number one, if there's any codes, if this thing's complaining about anything at all, and I'm going to see if there's an option for calibrating the throttle body. I am somewhat concerned that maybe I was supposed to do some kind of a throttle body learn. I mean, in a lot of cars, you're going to have something like that. I did not do it on this because my scan tool would not connect. It would help if I knew where my Carly device was. I found it. I had it. I lost it. I found it again in my pocket, which is where I should have checked to begin with. but that's okay. So let's find the OBD2 port. It is hiding right down here. This is not sponsored. I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to sell you something. There's no advertisement coming for this either, okay? It's just, this is what I have. I've used Carly before, and I've had pretty good luck with it. So I'm just gonna stick with what I know here, and we'll see if this is gonna be able to help us out at all on the G Wagon. I'm gonna let everything kind of boot up in here and come to life. I'm gonna pull out my phone, and we'll see if we can't connect to it. And, you know, we'll see if there's any codes and if there's any possible way of calibrating the throttle body. Well, this is unfortunate. I was really hopeful that Carly was going to be able to save the day here, but Carly says that there are no ECUs found. That's a problem. Carly doesn't even recognize that there is a computer in this truck. So this was my big hope. Part of the problem is probably also that Carly does not allow me to enter a year prior to 2005. The earliest G Wagon they have is a 2005 G500. They don't go that far back. So what does that mean? I'm gonna grab my other scan tool. I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna keep plugging away at this until I find something that can connect, and hopefully we can program that damn throttle body. Well, I'm not having a whole ton of luck. What I found is that I hooked my scan tool up, and this was interesting. When I hooked my scan tool up, I was able to see generic codes, but I couldn't connect to the computer. Like, this scan tool would not connect. My Carly wouldn't connect, so I opened up the fuse box, and I'm like, what is going on? I noticed there were 3 fuses missing out of the fuse box. Well, these 2 right here, these are for the OBD2 port. So it looks like somebody had intentionally removed 3 fuses out of the fuse box. Now this is fun because most of this is in German, so I can't read most of it. There is some areas like white, green, brown. Pieces of it are in English, but the majority of this stuff is in German. So I can't read it. So I replaced the fuses, and voila, I now have connection to the OBD port. Things are starting to work. The problem is this one will not let me do anything. I even tried using a different VIN number. I tried tricking my scan tool into thinking this was a 2003 G500 with an American VIN number. And it's not, it still won't work. It won't let me do any kind of real diagnostics or programming. The only thing I'm able to do is get into the generic codes, and on this one I am getting a P0120, a pending code for the throttle pedal position sensor. And when I look that up, it looks like maybe I replaced the wrong part. Instead of the problem being the actual throttle body, I think the problem is actually down here. There's a sensor, which I don't even know how you get to it. It is so tight under here. Looks like you probably got to remove this. What is this? A zip tie? Oh, great. We've got zip ties under here, guys. That's wonderful. That's perfect. Well, there is a pedal sensor down here, right there, and that monitors the travel. And if that's the case, then I probably replaced the wrong part. You can reset the transmission adaptations if I could get into it, which I can't with my good. This is a good scanner too, guys. I can't get into it. If you reset the transmission adaptations, it will also do a complete reset on your throttle position sensor. It will just clear and reset everything. Supposedly there's another way to do it. You can turn the ignition on, hold the gas pedal down for 5 seconds, let go, turn the ignition off, let it sit for 2 minutes, and start it back up, and that does, I don't know, I hate generic stuff like that. I'd really prefer to be able to get into it with a scanner. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unplug this, and maybe Carly was not able to connect because the fuse was missing. Now, why would somebody remove the fuse that allows you to run a full diagnostic on this thing? Like, somebody knew what they were doing. You know, if somebody pulled that fuse for a reason, it's like there's something they didn't want you to see. There's something they didn't want you to find out, because when the auction comes out to do an inspection of the car, they always run a diagnostic on the cars, always. And they will report every code in the listing. And it makes me wonder if there was something in here they didn't want me to see. And here we go, same thing with Carly again. It says no ECUs detected, and they think that the ignition may be turned off. I tell it it's turned on, and then it goes right back to zero. Does it need to be running? I mean, surely not. Take the key out. Fires right up. I'll try it again with the car running, but I mean, it shouldn't need to be running to run a diagnostic. You know what I mean? We'll try it again. I don't know, guys. I'm really starting to run out of patience with Carly not working. My scan tool. This is a really good scan tool. I've never had this happen before. This is my auto fix, and it's not connecting. Nothing seems to be connecting, and I can't figure out why. So I am trying to force this thing to do a trans adaptation. Listen. Do you hear that? That's the throttle body. It's making horrible noises. That doesn't sound good. Maybe Mercedes aren't for me. I'm kidding. I'm kind of married to this thing at this point. I'm stuck with it. I'm going to keep trying, man. I'm not giving up. There's got to be a way. Maybe I can lie to the computer and say, see, there we go again. There we go again. It wants the VIN number, but as soon as I enter it, it'll end up coming back and saying, can we even diagnose it? Drive, transmission. Hold on. We're actually accessing something. This has never happened before. We've never actually been able to access anything in here before. Trouble codes are not detected. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. So can we possibly get in here and do the trans adaptation? Oh, here we go. I've never been in, I don't know what changed, but I've never been in here before. So, control unit adaptations. This is where we should be able to reset everything, assuming this works. I don't know what's changed. Got devices unable to communicate with the control unit. It's on. Of course it's on. It's on. So close. So close. Make sure it's on. Sure the cable is good. Blah blah blah. Battery's charged. Yeah, everything is good. Special functions. I don't know. Guys, let me plug away at this a little bit longer. Maybe I don't know if I need a better scanner. Please turn off solenoid valve of the torque converter. No, that's not what I want. I just want to reset the adaptations, man. This should not be this complicated. So earlier it said it couldn't communicate. Now it's communicating. Display and reset of adaptations. Resetting of the adaptation data. Values of 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. Let's just reset only after completion of repair work. Resetting adaptation data cannot be expected to improve the shift quality. There will be a change to optimize shift quality. You can carry out adaptation using menu perform adaptations. Would you like? Yes, reset. This will reset the transmission adaptations, and from what I read, this should also reset the throttle body as well. But with that said, if we have a faulty sensor for the gas pedal, it's not going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference at all. So like I said, I'm going to... and now we're back to unable to communicate with the control unit. Perfect. Well, I found the throttle position sensor. It was not where I thought it was. Good sign. It's running smoothly, no check engine lights. I've got my favorite cleaner, the BW 100 contact cleaner. This is amazingly good stuff, but it's also not cheap. The throttle position sensor, which this is funny, I mean not really. Remember, I thought the throttle position sensor was down here at the throttle body. I thought it was built into the throttle body. It's right here. See this sensor right here in the middle of your screen? Hold on, let me get that out of your way. Right here. This is actually the throttle position sensor. It's not part of the gas pedal at all. So I spent, I don't even know how long. I tore apart the underside of the dash. I started pulling up the carpet, couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, wait a minute, where's this sensor at? No, Google. It could have saved me a lot of time. It's right here. They're notorious for failing. This looks very original. This has 170,000 miles on the odometer, so it would not surprise me one bit if that sensor has failed. Now, what I want to do, real quick, these adaptations are not working, by the way. We could try it. We could try it again, but I don't think this is going to work. It would be nice if it did. I really don't know why this is not working. Yeah, here we go. Could be because the car is running now. It's pissed off about that. I'm not sure. So let's... Hold on. No. Do we have diagnostics? No. See, we got to get out of this, and we're just going to have to go to just a generic OBD, which should be diagnostics, enhanced OBD. We'll do a standalone. This will get us in. We'll do an auto scan. It'll take it a minute to figure out what the protocol is for this. It's like a KW2000 or whatever. But the good news is we know where the sensor is. I now have a part number that I can read off of the sensor. So I know if we have a problem, I know exactly what I need to get. The reason I brought this out is because I, number one, cleaned the sensor with it. And number two, I cleaned the wires very thoroughly. I mean, I really got up in there and sprayed. I saw no signs of corrosion at all. So it's most likely going to be the sensor. I've done about an hour and a half worth of research on Google, and I have read through different forums about the G Wagon, and I have seen the same problems I'm having, including stalling, no throttle response, stalling, especially in the rain, relating to a faulty throttle position sensor. This sensor, depending on where you get it, if you get it on like Amazon, it's 20 bucks. Get it on eBay, $25. You get a genuine part, it's going to be about $55, $60. No trouble codes detected, and I never did clear the code. So this is a great sign, because you saw earlier we kept having the same code for the throttle position sensor. I saw a lot of people say, hey, I was able to basically clean it up, put it back together, never had a problem again. You know, is that the case for me? Maybe, maybe not. It's working now. Maybe we'll take it on the 10-mile run. But I think what I'm going to do, just to be safe, I think I'm going to order the part, and I think I'm going to order a genuine Mercedes-Benz part. No Amazon. No, I'm going to get it from the right sources. We're going to get the right part, because this is something that's very dangerous. All right, and I don't want to take any chances with this. When this thing left us on the side of the road, and it just, like, it was instantaneous, guy. I mean, we went from cruising 70 miles an hour on the highway to suddenly I'm merging. And suddenly I have no acceleration. The thing doesn't want to move at all. It's just slowing down as I'm trying to get onto a busy interstate. And I was like, oh, this is bad. This is really, really, really bad. I had already merged over to get off on the right side. So I'm in, let me think. I'm in the slow lane, but I had merged all the way from the left, all the way over to the right, where I was getting ready to get off on the highway, and kaput. That could have been so much worse. So as you can see, I mean, it's running great. We have no codes. We have no check engine light. It seems quite happy. I'm not going to risk it, though. I am going to order that sensor, and I'm going to put it in. Like, There's no time to screw around with these kinds of things, man. Not something like that. I had to disconnect the battery so that I could clean those wires and everything and plug everything back in. It seems to be running great. I think I'm gonna put everything back together. Let's I can't remember if it's number 1 or number 3. I've got my settings programmed in here, but I think we're gonna take it on a little drive. We'll see how it does. Maybe it's number 3. Hell, I don't remember. Anyway, we'll put it back together. We'll take it out for a drive, guys. With any luck, we'll make it back. All right, we're about to do it to it, man. And I've driven this thing 216 miles. That's it. I'm telling you, I was so excited about this. I took it out and I was just driving it everywhere. So proud of this thing. I love it. Even though it has caused me some problems, I think the problem with it was, number one, the dealer that had it, obviously, you know, they just dumped it. They didn't know what was wrong with it. They didn't want to spend the money on it. They just dumped it off and sent it to auction, which is where I got it. Now, the real question is who is the one that removed the fuses for the OBD2 link, the diagnostic port? That's what I would like to know, because that wasn't an accident. It was not an accident that there were 3 fuses missing from the fuse box, and one of them just happened to be the OBD2 diagnostic link fuse. No, that was intentional. So I can't help but wonder who did that, you know, and why. I bought it, and I would have liked to have had a little more information about what was wrong with it, but I would have bought it anyway. Like, it's not like I would have been, nah, I don't want that because of this code or that code. That's not the case. So I guess the second issue is that I misdiagnosed it, and that is my own fault. I was ignorant. I'm not a Mercedes. I'm not a European car guru. Not at all. That's part of what I like about them, is I know quite a bit about American cars. I'm used to working on them. Been working on them my entire life. Cars like this scare me. They challenge me. They push me to learn, to research, to do better. And that's why I enjoy taking on challenges just like this very cheap G Wagon. So now that I've figured out that I replaced the wrong part, I now know what the right part is. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to order that tonight. And as soon as it comes in, I'm going to replace it. As you can see, we're back driving it at 65 miles an hour, which, by the way, is the speed limit. Cruise control does work on this. Everything on this works great. It drives great. It's a very solid vehicle. I absolutely love driving this thing. So, you know what I did? Right after this one broke down, on Thanksgiving Day, I was browsing around the dealer auction, and I came across a 2009 Mercedes-Benz S65 AMG. This is a super rare car. In 09, there were probably less than 3, maybe 400 of these produced. Even the Maybach can't touch the S65 AMG. All right, the S65 is like the king of the Mercedes lineup for back then. You're talking about a twin-turbo V12. Right? You're talking 614 horsepower and like 738 pound-feet of torque. This is an incredible machine that I got for right around $10,000. You see the pattern? I got a 2001 G Wagon for just under $10,000, and I got a 2009 S65 AMG for right around 10,000 bucks. Now, of course, I have no idea what could be wrong with this new S-Class, especially considering I did some research on the VIN number, and I was able to find that very recently it was sold at a dealership for $28,000. And I'm talking recent, not like 2 years ago. I'm talking very, very recently. This thing sold for $28,000. And now somebody dumped it at a dealer auction for right around 10 grand. Surely it's going to run and drive perfect. Probably nothing wrong with it. at all. No, that's absolutely not true. There's definitely going to be something wrong with it. I have no doubt. If not, I need to go buy a lottery ticket or play Powerball or something, guys. I couldn't help myself. For the price, I've never seen anything like it for that kind of money. Never. And I mean, I'm on the dealer auctions a lot. A lot of people ask me, where do you find these deals? How do you find these deals? The answer is simple. I spend hours every single day watching the auctions, just looking for a good deal, looking for the deal of the day. And I'm telling you, Thanksgiving Day, what could possibly go wrong, man? It was Thanksgiving. That in and of itself is good luck. And for 10,000 bucks, I'm sorry, guys, you will not be able to convince me that that is a bad deal. Even if it's broken, that is not a bad deal. So we made it to the 5-mile mark. Everything is still good. Acceleration is good. I've got no problems. I got no complaints with this. In fact, it's running better than ever, honestly. This thing is running absolutely perfect. Oh, wow. We got... Remember, this is all-wheel drive? Yeah, we got scratch on all 4 tires on that one, buddy. She feels way better. Way better. Whoa! I love this freaking truck. I do. Okay, so I was pretty pissed off because it left me stranded, and it was embarrassing too. You know, I mean, that honestly, that was the least of it, but it counts. I was embarrassed. You know, I go and I pick my mother up, and it's like, hey, Mom, look at the G Wagon. My mom, she doesn't know anything about Mercedes. She couldn't care less if I picked her up in a 1995 Chevy Cavalier or a 2025, you know, AMG GTS. It doesn't matter to her. I could show up in a G63. She wouldn't care. But I was excited. It's like, hey, Mom, look at this. It's a G Wagon. Mom, she's like, you know, yeah, it's nice. It's a little tall for her to climb it, but, you know, everything's good. Then on the way home, we're dead on the side of the road in the pouring rain, in the freezing cold. And, yeah, it was a dangerous situation. It was honestly a scary situation. And it was an embarrassing situation. But I was ready to let this thing go. Like, I didn't touch it for a week. I've been so pissed off about it. I was like, I don't want anything else to do with this thing. I don't want anything to do with this truck. Again, I'm done with it. I figured I'd come out here, tinker around with it today. We'd see if we could get this thing to act normal again, and then I was going to send it right back to auction or give it to Jason S. Honestly, I figured after Jason saw the video, he probably wouldn't want it anymore himself. I don't know. He said that when I was ready, he wants it. But now, the point is, now that I figured out that I replaced the wrong part, and I've got it running and driving again, and now I know what part I need and how to replace it. You know, it's for the money. It's so hard to get rid of this. It is so hard to get rid of it because this is another one of those, you're never going to find a deal like this again. It's not going to happen, guys. If you listen to Doug DeMiro, if you listen to Hoovie's Garage, they will tell you, Hoovie recently said, G-Wagons are not depreciating. When he was looking for them 8 years ago, they were $30,000 for these old schools. And today, they're still $30,000 for these old schools. You cannot go wrong buying one of these for $9,450. It's one of those very rare occasions where I just kind of fell into a gold mine, man. So getting rid of it's hard because I don't fall into deals like this very often. We'll see. Maybe when the S65 shows up, maybe then I'll suddenly feel like I don't need the G-Wagon anymore. But if I'm being completely honest, I've had several S-Classes before. I mean, I've had quite a few S-Classes. Great cars, love them, they're comfy, roomy, but it's not like this. This has got you sitting up high, you know? It's a tank, it's heavy, all-wheel drive. It may not have the power and the torque that the S65 has, but the form factor just makes this whole thing worth it. And the fact that you still have a nice rumbly V8 under the hood. All right, we made it back. Let me turn off the heater. I just ran a diagnostic on this to see if we got any codes back, because I really want to drive this home. When I tell you that I love driving it, like, I'm not trying to sell it to you, because I can't sell it to you anyway. But I'm not trying to sell it. I'm serious. I really love driving this thing, man. So I checked it, and we have no trouble codes. So it looks like we fixed it for free. Like I said, though, I'm not going to chance it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy the right part, the OEM part. I'm going to replace it, so there's just no chance that we're going to have any more problems. Then I'm going to take the old part. I'm going to stick it in the glove box. I'm going to leave it there just in case ever again there's ever a problem. There's a spare one that at least works and will get you down the road for a little bit. So I'm going to call that a win. I will tell you this. I just told Jessica we're going to be driving this home. It's 9 o'clock at night. We're supposed to be getting, should start sleeting and then snowing here really, really soon. Jessica said, no, we're not driving this home. She loves it too, but once it broke down, she no longer loves it anymore. She doesn't trust it. So I'm not allowed to drive this home. But what a perfect vehicle to be cruising around in the snow and ice. You know what I mean? I got my Ram sitting right over there. I'll take the 25 Ram home. It's 4-wheel drive and everything. So that's probably the better truck anyway. But this, man, I really wanted to take it home. Oh well. It is what it is, guys. I think that is a wrap for this video. We fixed it and figured out the whole time, the problem with this Mercedes from the very beginning was nothing more than a part that you could buy for $25. I'll tell you this, if I'm going to continue messing with Mercedes, I'm going to have to get better scanners. The AutoFix has been great. It's worked for everything that I've needed it for, but I gave Monkey Wrench Mike my scanner that I had all the special adapters for. I mean, it had adapters for Jag, Mercedes-Benz, the old ones, the newer ones, BMWs, the special connectors for the BMWs. That thing had everything, but it was a $4,000, $5,000 investment. I'm not sure I'm ready to go drop $4 or $5 grand on another one so that I can work on these old school Mercedes, man. I don't know. This is a lot of money, but it may be something that I have to do. If you guys enjoy these types of vehicles, if you don't, let me know in the comment section below so I don't waste my money. But if you enjoy seeing me try to save these cheap, older Mercedes, listen, I'm more than happy to bring them to the channel. Not all the time, but from time to time. I really don't mind buying them and trying my hand at fixing them. I told you, it's enjoyable for me. The diagnosing process, the having to research and like push me to challenge myself to fix these European cars. I have so much fun doing it, and today I feel like we really succeeded. I'm going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.